It's been crazy because I've been doing it since I was 11. And
Really?
yeah, so now I'm 23. And so it's just like basically every year it just gotten crazier and crazier. And yeah, I used to make $1 a day back. Well, the first few years I wasn't even making money off YouTube. But once I started making money, I was making $1 a day. And I saved up for a couple months. I bought a microphone, saved up for half a year. I got a computer, and I've just always reinvested it. And so it's like literally just all. I mean, I was like as awkward as they came. No money, no nothing, and I just basically just obsessed over YouTube every day for a decade. The very first video, weirdly enough, I played this stupid game and some hacker like killed my base when I was 11, and so I uploaded it, and my first video got 20,000 views like instantly, because it was like all the people that played the game was like, oh shit, you can hack in this game. It's a game called Battle Pirates. I guarantee you no one listening.
What is it called?
Battle Pirates. No one here has ever heard of it.
Battle card?
Battle Pirates.
Battle Pirates.
Yeah, it was a really small game, but I uploaded that and I got 20,000 views. And that was probably the best thing that could have ever happened to me, because then I was hooked from day one. Literally, like most people, it takes hundreds of videos before you get like one view. And somehow the very first video I uploaded at 11 got like 20,000 views. And then I was just like, oh, I fell in love, and I've been hooked ever since.
Wow.
2006 or whatever.
Yeah,
YouTube was a thing, but like the partner program wasn't really a thing. No one was making money. And it was definitely back before it was cool. Like when I was doing YouTube when I was 14 and 15, like now, you know, it's cool if you want to be a YouTuber in high school or middle school. Back then, like, no one gave a fuck. You know what I mean? It was like, you're just worried they would try to play your videos in class or make fun of you or stuff like that for it.
So, but how did it evolve to what it is now? Was it a vision? Was it a slow, sort of a gradual increase in numbers? And
yeah, I mean, it's about as slow as it gets. I mean, so like, when I was a young teenager, I was getting no views, had no money, had no equipment. And so for the most part, it was just like, I was just trying to scrounge money so I could buy equipment, because I was using my brother's old laptop. And so like my first couple hundred videos, I didn't have a microphone. Like imagine just like crackly, terrible voice. And so once I got monetized, I saved up for a few months. Like I told you, I bought a microphone. I can just give you a mile high history. And I saved up for like 6 months. I mean, I was just doing video game videos, and they were terrible. But I saved up, I got a real computer. So now I can actually record the video game in high quality. I have a microphone, I'm like 15, and I just kept going and going. Trying to figure out like what are some of like the hot spots. Like essentially up until 18, I had been doing YouTube pretty religiously, but I was making no money. Like this is kind of the turning point, was when I graduated from high school. And my whole life I was like, I want to be making enough money by the time I graduated to do this full time. And I wasn't. I was still only making a couple $100 a month. So I graduated high school, and my mom was like, either move out or go to community college. And I didn't have enough money to move out, but I hated school with a passion. But she forced me to go to community college, and that was the worst thing ever. Like that made me hate life. Like borderline suicidal. I just can't stand like having to just sit there and listen to this dumb stuff and listen to some teacher read out a book. So what I did was, I would act like I was going to community college, but I would just work on videos in my car and edit and stuff like that. I had straight zeros. And so now the clock had started, because once my mom found out, I was screwed. I came home and I was like, yeah, I haven't been going to college, and I moved out the next day. My mom almost had a heart attack, because she doesn't understand YouTube or anything back then, and she was like, man, this guy's gonna work at McDonald's. I wasted all this time. Like I invested 18 years, and this is what I get. I never once studied. I literally wouldn't even take my books home. Like I legit don't think I studied once all of high school at my house. And so we would fight a lot. I didn't have the best grades. And so I would just make videos, and she didn't understand it, especially because back then it was just a whole different world. Like there wasn't really a thing as a full-time YouTuber and stuff. And so it was a lot of arguments, a lot of drama, but ended up working out. She's happy.
The thing is,
people would have bet $1 million that I wouldn't be a YouTuber. You know, it makes no sense. But I just like, I have, hyper obsession, and I love this. And, you give it enough time, anyone can solve it. A step further, because I thought, especially if you're like extremely passionate about something at a young age, where most kids aren't, then it's more exacerbated that it's like, I didn't talk to anyone. I hardly had any friends, because I was so obsessed with YouTube. As back then, just no one cared. So it's like, I thought I was just like, just didn't even know how to speak. Like literally, I just couldn't hold a conversation with a single person, because people would just tell me all you talk about is YouTube, and I would try to talk about something else, but back then I was so hyper obsessed that I literally just didn't know how to. Most of my growth came actually after I graduated high school. Basically what I did was I somehow found these other like 4 lunatics. We were 3 of us were college dropouts, one was a high school dropout, and one, I don't know, he just like quit his job. We were all super small YouTubers, and we basically talked every day for 1,000 days in a row and did nothing but just like hyper study, like what makes a good video, what makes a good thumbnail, what's good pacing, like how to go viral. And we just call it like daily masterminds. We would just get on Skype every morning, and like some days like I'd get on Skype at 7 a.m. and I'd be in the call until like 10 p.m. and then I'd go to bed, I'd wake up and I'd do it again. And we'd do things like just take 1,000 thumbnails and see if like there's a correlation to the brightness of the thumbnail to how many views it got, or like like videos that get over 10 million views is like how often do they cut the camera angles, or like things like that. Mess up, you learn from your mistake. You mess up, you learn from your mistake. You in 2 years, might have learned from 20 mistakes. Or if you have like 4 other people who are also messing up, and when they learn from their mistake, they teach you what they learn, stuff like that. Hypothetically, you 2 years down the road have learned like 5 times more of the amount of stuff. So it just like helps you grow exponentially way quicker, if that makes any sense.
It does.